Welcome back, guys. This is Gaming with Dalston, and today we are on episode 73 of Pyramid City. What I'm gonna do this episode, the reason I'm planning on getting a gym membership is because I'm a freaking toothpick. I'm a freaking toothpick. It's not because I want to lose any more weight, but it's mainly because I'm a freaking toothpick. It's not because I'm overweight or anything, it's because I'm a freaking toothpick. It's mainly because I'm a freaking toothpick. I'm a freaking toothpick. But you know, being skinny does have an advantage to me. I'm a freaking... And my goal is I'm gonna pack on as much muscle as possible. Once my friend on Facebook, one of my friends on Facebook starts packing on muscle, I might have the home gym ready by then. Because I'm gonna pack... Let's work out together. Like... Excuse me. Because the story of how I started packing on muscle. When I started, I was kind of skinny, but I had some sort of pot belly, even though I was pretty skinny. I wanted to get rid of that overhang. True story. Because I didn't want that overhang. Because that was kind of a nuisance for me. And possibly even kind of detrimental to my health because of risk of infection. Now I'm a frickin' toothpick. That needs to gain some muscle. My goal is to be like Tristan Lee. Or maybe Uzoma Obalor. Or probably even Lee Priest. Shorter guys have an easier time building muscle. I don't have a bit of muscle. Like, my opinion on the regular diet, Western diet, different diets work on different people. For me, I function best on a vegan diet because my body, as long as it has enough protein, I should be good. Because I have to do a high-protein vegan diet. Because I love to eat beans. If it wasn't for beans, I'd be freaking crippled. I'd be pretty crippled. I discovered that due to my intense training regimen, yes, there are people out there who are pretty jealous of my training regimen. Because I can go 2.5 hours non-stop without damaging my muscles. Most of us are not able to do that. Because I'm a when I started, I was kind of a toothpick with a pot belly. Like, I'm still kind of a toothpick today, but not as much as I used to. But now, instead of being a fatty toothpick, I'm a meaty toothpick. Like, with a bunch of muscle mass. My diet is a pretty high protein diet. When I started my training regimen, I was kind of a toothpick. Even though I was normal weight, I was also kind of obese. Yes, there is such a thing as normal weight obesity. AKA being skinny fat. My doctor talked me to lifting iron to pack on muscle. Now I'm still a frickin' toothpick. I do need to gain some muscle. Cause, like, even more muscle, cause... My goal is to get to about 160 pounds and try to get to about 8% body fat. If I'm not satisfied at 160 pounds, I'd try to go towards 170 pounds. Because right now, I'm a frickin' toothpick at 150 pounds. Here's a tip to help skinny guys gain weight. Give them some dumbbells. Let's train together. Because I used to weigh 260 pounds. How I lost all that weight? Basically cutting down a lot. Basically to the point of starvation. Like, my diet, the diet I was following that caused me to lose weight going down from 260 to, like, where I am now, actually sped up the process of alopecia. Like, you have to pack on, like, because I want to get, like, Chol Soon physique. That's what I want. Let's see how... Eventually, I might think about competing with my friends over how heavy we can lift. I'm a freaking toothpick. I know I'm kind of skinny. Now, at least I increased the dumbbell mass to 30 pounds. Or about 13 kilograms. Because I'm a frickin'... Because, you know, 25 pounds is simply lifting 25 pounds a day, like, over about 100 reps per exercise every day is not enough for me. For my toothpick body. I need to lift even more. Like 30 pounds. The first couple days of lifting 30 pounds for me are gonna be kind of rough, but that's okay. That is normal. I'm gonna keep lifting for months or even years to come. Because my goal is to outcompete Chol Soon. Because right now, I'm a frickin' toothpick. When Chol Soon was in the military, he was a frickin' toothpick. I eat a high-protein diet. Some people do function best when they eat meat. Some people function best when they're vegan. I function pretty well on a vegan diet. And my diet advice is if your body... Outside of cholesterol and ethical concerns, it's kind of okay to eat meat as long as... You know as long as you know the signs of cholesterol, and as long as the animal dies from natural causes, you should be okay. As long as the animal dies from natural causes, you should be fine. As long as the animal dies from natural causes, instead of being slaughtered. Instead of slaughtering the animals, let the animal live their natural lifespan. Because slaughtering animals at a slaughterhouse can actually get pretty violent. It's gonna get pretty violent. Because when I started my training regimen, like, I started off on the omnivore diet at first when I was at the start of 12th grade. Then, in sometime in quarter two, I decided to go vegetarian. Like, enough was enough for the slaughterhouse animals. But then, ultimately, I realized that simply wasn't enough either. So I decided to go full-on vegan. Stick to the diet that your body can handle best. For me, my body does pretty well on a vegan diet, personally. Because right now, it helped, the vegan diet actually helped with improving my physique, too. Like, get that shredded look. But it's not the diet that made me thin. It's that I was consuming too little. Over a desire to get extremely lean. That caused me to get very thin. Like skeleton. Like, sort of skeleton, but not really. I had a bit of meat on my body. Ironically enough. I had a bit of meat on my body. Ironically enough. Ironically enough, I had a bit of meat on my body. Now I'm lifting weights to help me get stronger. My next stage of my training regimen would be to make things more variable. Lentils are a good source of protein. And if you're a vegan planning on building muscle, lentils are a good source. If you're planning on packing on a bit of muscle mass as a vegan, I encourage you to consume as much lentils as possible. Go all out. And consume a shit ton of fiber, too. Mix... When I started my training regimen, I was kind of a toothpick. I'm still a toothpick today, but a much meatier toothpick. I'm more of a shredded toothpick. When I started... There is such a thing as skinny fat. That's where most muscle guys on Instagram start off. They start off being skinny fat. That's where I started off. Now, I'm kind of muscled for a skinny guy. I don't feel as if I have enough muscle for me. I need more muscle. Because I'm determined to become a bodybuilder. I want to be like Chulsoon and Tristan Lee. As well as Uzoma Obalor. My diet is very high in protein, very high in carbs. The amount of fat is low to adequate. It's sub-adequate, meaning I do get some fat in my diet, but not enough. And there's a reason for this. I'm trying to pack on as much muscle as possible. Which means glycogen. Which means protein, which means carbs. Glycogen.
Which also means eating more than just lentils.
Yeah, that too. Eat plenty of fruits and vegetables too. You can take supplements if you want. But stay the hell away from steroids, because it's gonna cause health problems later in life if you keep taking steroids. Here's my... Because when Arnold was in his 50s, yes, I'm talking about the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he ended up with a heart attack in his 50s. This is the result of steroid usage. Some people will suffer heart attacks earlier. Some people, later. Because I'm gonna try packing on as much muscle as I can without steroids. Without taking steroids. Because, you know, steroids are not good for you. In fact, steroids can kill you. They can kill you. Because it's because steroids can screw with your heart, causing your... Some people who abused steroids for a long time end up with an enlarged heart. I know there are people out there that might be jealous of my training regimen. And that's okay. Feel free to have your own opinion. Some people think my muscles would have bursted by now. Some people would have think that I would have ended up in a hospital as a result of it. But how I avoid hospital visits or bursted muscles, I worked my way up. I didn't just suddenly start doing 100 push-ups a day. I started off at about 20 push-ups a day. That's how much I started. That's where I started. Like, then when I started doing 25 push-ups a day, I probably added another workout. Either bench press or sit-ups. Then, once I started doing 35 push-ups, I added another workout. I just kept adding to my training regimen, as if nothing had happened. I didn't just suddenly start doing 100 push-ups a day. That wouldn't have been possible. If that was the case, I'd probably be in a hospital. I would have ended up in a hospital if that were the case. If that were the case, I'd be in the hospital multiple times. I would have ended up in the hospital multiple times for muscle tear and muscle injury. If that were the case. But no, I didn't end up in the hospital because of it. Because I worked my way up to doing this. Think of the time you heard of the hare and the tortoise. The moral of the story is slow and steady wins the race. I followed that to ensure a workout without tearing my muscles apart. I started off small. If you're going to stick to a training regimen like this, start small and work your way up. Or else you're going to burst your muscles. Or you're going to burst some blood vessels and tear some muscles apart. Eventually, I'm going to train so hard to where my blood vessels could end up literally bursting. Because right now, I'm doing arm curls with 30-pound dumbbells as well as bench presses with 30-pound dumbbells. when I started doing bicep curls, I started off by doing only 15 pounds, then 20, then 25, but now I'm doing 30 pounds. Yeah, that's double the weight of my original weight, my starting weight, when I did the bicep curls. That's okay. One thing that drove me into doing workouts every day was the Marine Corps was doing a thing at my high school when I was in 12th grade, in which you'd be given a free t-shirt if you do a pull-up. I wasn't able to do a pull-up, which meant I couldn't get a free t-shirt, which meant ultimately I decided to start training every day. Even if I don't want to exercise, I have to keep to this regimen, regardless. I know it's kind of hard on me, but I have to keep doing this. If I want to get stronger. Because right now, I'm a freaking toothpick. Who needs muscle mass? I'm focusing on vegan foods with the greatest amount of protein. Because I need that protein for me. If you want to pack on muscle, eat more protein. And more carbs. So you can have more glycogen for your muscles to grow. Because muscular hypertrophy kind of depends on glycogen. The amount of glycogen you consume, as well as the protein intake. The carbs that you consume don't rely on fat, like they want you to believe. It actually relies... Your muscles rely on both carbs and protein for growth. Because when you consume carbs, your body stores it as glycogen, which your muscles can use for energy. And eventually, I'd be at a point in my regimen in which blood would start gushing out of my nose at any moment. But even if blood starts to gush out of my nose, I'm gonna keep training as if nothing had happened. Kind of like Shivlikov. Kind of like Mikhail Shivlyakov. That guy. If you're wondering how my muscles haven't exploded yet, doing 100 of each with my workouts, this is mainly because I started off small. I worked my ass off to get here, to where I am now. I worked my ass off every day, almost every single day. Ich gekaufe mein Arsch. I worked my ass off to get to where I am now. My plan? Get a gym membership. Because I need to... Some people are pretty jealous about my training regimen. Thinking if they stuck to this same regimen as me, they'd end up with bicep tears, or muscle tears, or burst blood vessels, or a trip to the hospital. Some people are just jealous that I train very hard, thinking I shouldn't do it because I'd tear my muscles apart. But really, I do it. My muscles are in good condition. On peak condition. This is because I train hard every day. If it wasn't for the gradual increment, if it wasn't for the incremental increase over the period of several months, I would have ended up in a hospital. Thankfully, I started off small and worked my way up. It's like taking baby steps. My goal is to ultimately get a gym membership, because I'm going to need that. So I could pack on more muscle. Because for me, I don't think I'm jacked enough. Even though I may be kind of skinny, I'm freaking jacked. When I started, I was kind of a toothpick still. I'm still kind of a toothpick today, yet I have a lot more muscle. I do some explosive lifting. On the first couple of days you're lifting heavier than what you are used to, you're going to start huffing and puffing. I know. Because I have to go through that. I'm kind of going through it for the first couple days, but that's normal. Yeah. I have to keep lifting. If I stick to this, I'll get stronger. If I don't, I get weaker. I don't want to be weak for the rest of my life. No, I want to be strong. Like the Hulk. I'm going to try to overtake my grandfather in strength. And I'm going to try to overtake him. Outstrength my grandfather. Yes, I'm talking about the one that is still alive. Because my dad's father is already dead. If it wasn't for the Twinkies and other cholesterol-laden junk foods, he'd still be alive today. Yeah. Yet, this is due to heart problems running rampant in my family. I decided to go vegan. Not only for health reasons, but ethical reasons, too. My friend's diet would be better if it didn't have any I think it's kind of decent, but it would be better if it didn't have any cholesterol. Because I'm in peak physical condition. I want to be like Robert Cheek. That vegan bodybuilder. Because... And how I get the answer to how I get my B12, I know my way of getting B12 is kind of unhealthy. But I have to supplement it somehow. Because I don't want to end up with health problems. Like anemia. Which means either I have to drink energy drinks every day, or other B12 fortified vegan foods, or risk anemia. I eat a lot of fiber in my diet. Eat plenty of fiber if you want to pack on muscle. Not just carbs, but fiber. Like apples, carrots, bananas, lemons, oranges, limes, tomatoes. Yes, even broccoli. And sweet potatoes. Instead of doing regular sit-ups now, I'm putting weights on my chest when doing sit-ups now. I know it's kind of risky for my breathing my ability to breathe in large amounts of oxygen. But that's okay, because I'm trying to strengthen my core. When I do push-ups, your You're supposed to go all the way down until your chest touches the floor. Chest touch the floor, you're fine. Anyways, this should be it for this video. Stay tuned for episode 74 of Pyramid City. Gaming with Austin signing off, but before I go, I encourage you to support me on Patreon and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And Gaming with Austin signing off. Stay tuned for more, and tschüss.